Well, friends, welcome to tonight's mini live. Thank you very much for tuning into our mini live series tonight. Y'all know how this works. Mini lives are not very long. We try not to. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mary. Thank you very much for putting that super chat up on the screen. We should have put a comment in there, but no worries. I'm sure we're gonna read comments from you. So tonight, Shayla is showing exactly again why it is that when we talk about this particular set of people, when we talk about Shayla as a mother, we're not just saying it because we are malicious. Because some people have come on in and they're Shayla supporters. And they like to say, O'Neill, some black woman has hurt you somewhere. And I'm saying, no, really and truly, all it is just that the woman just malicious. It's as simple as that. But hey, let's get into it and watch this.
Plans? What you got to do?
D, can you please ask her to fix her face? What do you mean?
She
What
is
does
a grown
mama
woman.
have to do?
I had never heard you say you had plans when you're supposed to be keeping your grandson. Mom, please.
So basically, she's trying to gaslight her mother to say that her mother needs to be like, it's a bunch of Shayla fans that give me the whole spiel of what Shayla is and what she isn't. And when I keep talking about her being a bad mother, people tend to go to Anthony every single time. And here we go again. Okay, you know what? Being that she is such a great mother, why not call Anthony and ask him to have Kai stay over the house until the next day and then you bring them over? Because that's kind of what's been going on. That's what's been going on. But hey, here we go.
I really have something important to do.
I understand, but I'm always there for you. I never have a problem with keeping the baby. That's my little honey bunny. But see, I am grandmother. You are mother. So grandmother, on this occasion, has something grand to do.
Mom, seriously, this is like really, really important.
And she's still asking. So remember, she makes $10,000 from Wayne and she cannot afford to pay for a babysitter. She has a baby father. She can't bring the baby over the baby father's house, right? So none of those things can happen. So for the person who always say, because you have some people, you guys can hear, correct? People are saying no sound. What do you mean the sound is out? What sound is out? Hold on, guys. Let me see what's happening. What sound is out? The sound is out. Where is the sound out? Can you guys hear? I know you guys supposed to can hear. Hold on, let me make sure somebody can hear. And so none of those things. Okay, so the sound is there. So people are saying that them can't hear. So that's why I had to make sure that you guys could hear. So that's what I'm kind of just trying to show you as to where this is. It just is it crazy.
And I don't have anywhere else to take Kai.
I
You
mean,
know what?
I hear
He's
what you're
most
saying.
comfortable at your house.
I know he is. But this particular time, I always tell you yes. I never tell her no. I will always have him. She wants to go out of town. She wants to do this, that, the other. I'm always there for you, Shayla. But this particular time, I'm not going to be able to do it because I already have plans.
But you're the same person, Mom, that's saying I need to get on my grind, be about my business.
So, in other words, she's gaslighting her mother. What she's doing right now is that she is now going to gaslight her mother to tell her mother that, listen, you're the one that has made me now have to work. And so, because you're making me have to work, this is exactly what you have to do. This is what I'm talking about. The other day, when we were talking about this, right? What's going on, in case you just come in LJBL, what's going on is that Shayla is begging her mother to keep Kai because she wants to go to this party tomorrow night with Wayne and Iman, right? She says she's trying to get that going done, right? It's not happening the way she wants it to happen. And because of that, that's what's going on. They said the sound is breaking. People say the sound breaking. I'm not sure. When I say the sound are breaking, are you sure the sound breaking? No, yeah, I get scared now. But anyway, all right, let's keep going. Let me keep working it. Let me keep working it. Let's go.
I need to be moving and shaking. I'm trying to do that.
Totally agree. However, this particular time, see, scheduling, now that you're on your grind and mama is out enjoying her life and I have plans, look, and maybe just let me know if I'm wrong here, but I know what I'm saying. I always tell you yes. Shayla, I always tell you yes.
The funny thing is, I actually agreed. Angelina, she always tells her yes. So let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Does Angelina, and we kind of know the answer now, but does Angelina always tell Shayla yes? That's the question. One for yes, and two for no. Them going on a gold digging flex. That's what's going on. Yes, so the sound is going out and coming back in. I'm not sure. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to see if I can set it. Let's see. Let's see. It's going in and out. So why not call her father, your deadbeat mother? You see what I'm talking about. Always out leaving with Kai, your mother. Never have that child. You wanted that baby, but because you don't want Kai around, Amber, that's why. That's what it is, Mary. That's really and true. Why not call his father? You're correct. Why not call him father? Mary, that's what me I talk about. That's what I'm talking about. Like Anthony said, Shayla needs to focus on being a mother. He was not incorrect. She's not focusing on being a mother. Jewel B may actually even ask this question because it's a good question. That's a good question. Is Shayla focused on being a mother? That's a good question. A mother. This is what Anthony was saying, and people start taking him on. But she's not focusing on doing this. One for yes, and two for no. Remember, Pam is in the community. I'm telling you. So in other words, somebody will get asked to keep this child. This is going to be a child pass on from place to place.
But this one time, honey, is just gonna have to be. You gotta figure it out.
So what am I supposed to do with my son? You're the grandma.
Your son is that part. He has a daddy.
We'll take the Y off. Our son. Can you
Oh.
please watch him, Mom? Is it more important than what I have to do?
I have no idea what you have to do, but what I have to do, I'm not going to change. And children are not going to be appropriate for that setting. So that's just.
This is interesting because when Angelina was on the live with Deontay's reviews, she mentioned about the whole idea of Shayla and what she saw with Shayla and all of these things. So I want to see now how her character plays with this, knowing that she has created this out of the Shayla character. She has created a character that is spoilt and that is entitled. And she mentioned that, who can judge a Shayla character? Fine. You understand? And she says that she's there riding or dying with the Shayla character. And I'd love to hear that. You understand? But let's see. See, this is what's going on. This is exactly what's going on right here. So, this is what we were talking about when we talked about accountability and the lack of the mere fact that there is no one around. This was what we were talking about. When we said Shayla lacked accountability, this was what we were talking about. Nothing else.
Listen,
Are you seeing somebody, Mom? Is it a man?
girl, it is not a man. You know, I have inner peace. And
It
that
sounds
inner-
like it's a man. It's a man.
No,
So, what if it was a man? So, what if it was a man? That's a woman business. Can you imagine? They are saying that the mama rooster cannot get any other man. And I'm not saying that I'm for the whole idea of what's going on here, but I'm just saying, them must say she can't get no man. Them must say the woman can't get no man. Can you imagine this? They're saying the mama rooster can't get it. She not have no man. She must be left out into the cold. Coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, coming, mama rooster, coming in from the cold. Burp.
This sounds really important.
no. Listen, for you two, yeah, you two. You're into
got a
men.
hot date, just
Me,
say that.
it is not. I have peace. My inner peace does not start with a man. My inner peace starts with me enjoying my life.
Let's just work on our schedule, okay?
So what are we gonna do now? No, who's gonna watch my son? We're gonna have to bring him with us 'cause we can't miss this one.
Friends, I apologize if I'm going in and out. So I guess I'm gonna have to just ride the storm because as far as I'm concerned, I'm already in it. I'm not sure why I'm going in and out. But let's dig into the depths of this. Thank you very much for this comment, Nanya. She doesn't want to take the baby to Anthony. Then she can go find somebody else to babysit. And quit talking about he's a deadbeat dad. This is what I've been saying. She has been pushing the narrative that him don't see him son. Remember, me was asking about Anthony and his son, and people talk about and them try to push the thing in Anthony. But no, what do you see happening? What you see happening is that they're intentionally keeping this child from Anthony. That's what's going on. And of course, hey, Anthony, for all I care, Anthony's whatever it is the narratives that them pushing. That I'm a problem. Is the narratives that they actually push. It's funny that her friend didn't even ask her why she doesn't ask Anthony to keep Kai. That's what's funny. Petty, it really and truly is funny. Extremely funny. Anthony should have used a condom by messing with the bottom feeder. He should have. If you ask me, he should have. Honestly, Quez, he should have. Kezim should have really and truly. You're fine, O'Neil. I can hear you. Thank you very much for that. Some people say them can't hear. I'm not quite certain. But this is what it is. Thank you guys very much for all of these comments. Let's dig into this. She's not going to call Anthony. She don't want Kyra and Amber, and that's the problem. That is the biggest problem. Where is now the father in all of this? Where is the father in all of this? That's the question I'm asking, and I've been saying that you have girls out there like this that creates the narrative of a deadbeat. Them create the narrative of a deadbeat. So the deal is she's trying to go out with Iman and Wayne because, of course, she's trying to go back onto the party scene and she's not focusing on doing what she's supposed to do, which is be a mother. M. John says, let Anthony come to Shayla's house and watch the baby. For what? She's baby. You're saying that is his baby. She's not be at Amber's house after she kept saying the baby, saying that baby, I won't trust her. Listen, listen. I don't agree with this, M. Johnson. I don't agree with this. That's that man's child. Him supposed to can bring him child, go wherever it's the me for bring him child. So don't bother with that. This don't make sense. This is his child. This is his child. That's what's going on. O'Neill, we won't ask her because she made the friend think Anthony's a deadbeat father. Exactly. He won't because she has created the narrative in the friend's head that Anthony is a deadbeat. That's why the friend not asking her. That's what people are saying right now. Is this the case? Has Shayla made the friend believe that Anthony is an absent father? Because this is what happens all the time. One for yes and two for no. Listen to me. You know why this story reaches home and why I speak about the deadbeat narrative of the story, because I have seen, I've gotten the first hand experience, right, of where a baby mama has tried, maybe a mother has tried to make it look like O'Neill was not there. Tried. And it just never worked because, of course, there is too much timeline and things you see with this youth. But me just show you say it exists. It is out there. That's why the story hit home so much. That's why the story hits home like this. Yeah, man, that's why the sheer storm hit home like this. Wayne will talk about the baby and question why he's not with Anthony. I hope so. I hope she carry the baby on the trip. You know what? We want her to bring the baby on a date. Will Shayla bring the baby on the date? Will she bring the baby on a date? Yes, Kai is raising himself. We've been talking about this. One, but she doesn't care about her son. She just wants money. This is what I was saying. She doesn't care. Listen to me. Shayla couldn't give a root and tooth. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. She doesn't care. M. Johnson, your argument is like a basket. It can't hold water. That's exactly correct. The argument where M. Johnson will right now can't hold water. I love M. Johnson, but M. Johnson, the argument can't hold water. That argument has nothing in it. The baby can go to his house and watch him there. Exactly. Amber not going to want to watch the baby at Shayla's, and she would be right. Why would I want? Why would I want to have my husband? Well, why would you want to have your husband watching the baby at his baby mother's house and not at your house? That is the question. When people saying these things, it don't make no sense. It don't make any sense. Good night, Stephanie. Welcome in. Maybe she don't want Amber to put it in Anthony's head to do the DNA test like RB. Well, hey, someone has to watch a child. Somebody has to watch a child. That's why kids say that's why I always say that females like Fiona don't care about the child. She should have kept her legs closed, and that's why her pum pum. They don't care about the child. As a serious thing. Listen to me. Men have had these issues with women for the longest period of time. Me know say women, me know to try and say if one can identify with all women, but just understand this. You can't identify with all of these women. You have girls out here like Shayla who does not care about the children. Them care about what them can get from the child. Like some of y'all call it a latch baby. That's what the baby there for. The baby is there just to create money. Anthony have not Anthony have not business about keeping Kai at Shayla's apartment. No business keeping that Shayla's apartment. Not going, not going to not do anything to the baby. Anthony needs to go get his visitation rights. In other words, Zeta is saying, hey, Anthony should not has no business keeping the baby at Shayla's apartment. Exactly. Him not a business keeping the baby there. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Amber would never hurt Kai. I don't know where people get this from. This is the most asinine statement in the world when people say that Amber would hurt Kai. Thank you very much, mom. I don't know where them get it from. I don't know where them get it from. Unbelievable. A baby is not a football. That's correct, Nanya. Them treat the baby like a football. The baby bounces around. It goes everywhere. Every single solitary place. A child of a millionaire. Can you imagine this? Eventually, Shayla will be forced to call upon Anthony and Amber to watch a baby because she won't have any other choice. Because she's been pressuring Angelina so much. For the first time, Angelina actually said no, which, hey, that is surprising. That is surprising that she said no for the first time in her lifetime. Let me find some comments. Doreen says she could keep her dirty, but at home. She don't need to go anywhere. You want the baby to take care of that baby. You take care of the baby. You want the baby, so you take care of the baby. That's just the deal. That is just the deal. That is just the deal. In what world does a father that is married to someone else not take his child home with him and still give her money? This is completely unrealistic. Actually, you have women out there who will try to hold on to the child. What's going on with Anthony is that he thinks that if he remains quiet and silent, it will not disrupt the apple cart, and that's the problem. The problem is that him sometimes have a very docile character, a very passive way of dealing with things. Sometimes very, very passive. When dealing with Shayla, him get very passive. And that just doesn't work. So yeah, you can't have that. You can. Because him just not standing up on business like he should. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Dayla, let me see what you say. Shayla will look so desperate going on a date with her son, with a man that she just met. She needs to sit her butt at home and do her job and take care of the baby job as a full-time mother. She asked to be a full-time mother, but yet still, you can't take care of your son. This is carelessness. I'm telling you. I told you guys that she was a careless mother. She's a careless mother? Is Shayla a careless mother? This is what I was saying from the start of everything. 1 for yes and 2 for no. This is what I keep saying. She's been a careless mother. We've been finding it out. When do they go to court about the name change? I'm not quite certain. I guess them put it in. Even if you got a court. Paula, you're right. Even if you got a court, because right now the baby is bouncing from place to place. But I think how the system is designed, this is a funny thing about the child care system. The child care system is really and truly designed for women. Now, ladies, me know not get upset, but it's really designed for women. A man have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that a child is being neglected for him to get certain things. Now, could Anthony get visitations? He could. He can get visitations. But I'm just saying, the child care system have certain biases in it where they'll give that child over to the mother. I don't know if you guys know about what is called a psychological evaluation. Social workers or people with an LCSW does it, right? Where we'll do like a psychological evaluation of the two parents. In most cases, even if you do a psychological evaluation, in most cases, the court tends to lean toward the woman. It tends to lean there. That's where the numbers are skewed. It doesn't say it, but that's where the numbers are skewed. For a man to get a child, usually it has to be that the man have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the mother is incapable of taking care of said child. It's almost like someone who is gravely disabled. That's literally what it is. That's literally where it is. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reaching with you guys. None of exactly, we're not hating, but we're going to support it. But we're not going to support the side chick who thinks she's supposed to be a wife. No, we're not. Me dep on your side, Carletta. Can't support the side chick. And no way. Anthony is not going to take her to court because he wants access to Shayla. Bottom line. And you may be correct, M. Johnson, you may be correct. We're just talking about the narrative that Shayla pushes about deadbeat dad. That's what we're talking about right now. And she's supposed to be taking care of her kid. She is supposed to be taking care of his kid every single day. She tell everybody, oh, Anthony is absent. He's not there. So please, And besides that, the truth is, M. Johnson, he has asked to have that baby come over to him house. And what did Shayla tell him? So don't be, let's not act like him not ask the question. Let's not act like not happen. Him just rest it because this is what it is. He can get visitation, but he just wants to keep going to Shayla's place to see her. Sharon say more got a place. But the truth is, he can get visitation, he can. Me not say he can get visitation. As to why I'm not going to the court, that I'm not sure. Shayla needs to realize, as a working mother, such things as childcare and babysitters do exist. You make plans accordingly. She doesn't realize these things because she lacks accountability. That are the problem. But O'Neill, Anthony barely go over Shayla's house. So how he wants access to Shayla? That also is true. It makes sense. It makes sense. Him barely go over there these days. So the question is it him going over there, or is it more about she doesn't want the baby to come to see Amber? Which one is the problem? Which is the problem? Which which is the problem? Aunt wants to go to Shayla, or Shayla don't want Amber around the baby. Which are the problem? That's the question. Which one am I the problem? Pick one and give me. Flip a coin and take one and tell me exactly what I go on. Which one is it? If that child is truly Anthony's baby, watch Anthony and Amber end up keeping him. I hope they do, because they possibly can. If it is that she messes around, and they can. Now we will see just how much the baby will be in her way. Shayla kept telling everyone that has the most important job in the world, and that is to be a mother. And now she needs to take it seriously. That's the thing. It was a lie. It was a facade. All of these things she was telling people was a big fat facade. She doesn't want Amber to see the baby. David, that is exactly what it is. People can go around it a million and one time. It is not about Mark you. Me now say Anthony me now want some of the pum pum. That's not what I'm saying. So, we now say Anthony me now want the pum pum. But what I think we're saying is that the bigger piece is she doesn't want to allow the child to go over to Amber's house. This is why I believe what I said, David. David, me side with what you're saying. It is more about not wanting the baby Amber around Kai. That's what I think it is. Me agree with you now. This is where I'm at. Charmaine, you're correct. Anthony has no rights with Kai at the moment. That's why, guys. For the people that want to ask the question, Anthony now have the rights at the moment. Remember, I said the name change hasn't happened yet. So, in other words, he has to be asking, begging, and scraping. As to why he's doing some of the things, we don't know. But that's the reason why. That is the reason why. Gail said the same thing. Shayla doesn't want Amber around the baby. That's the main problem. The problem is not the pum pum. The problem is not the pum pum. He has refused the pum pum on a couple of occasions. I'm not watching our child for you to go on a date. Exactly. You need to pay for your babysitter. You need to. Does Shayla need to pay for a babysitter? You need to pay for a babysitter. You're bright and feisty. One for yes and two for no. You're bright and feisty. Get yourself a babysitter, especially when it is your time. Part of me wants Anthony to come back to Shayla's and find Kyle left at home alone. Then the custody battle will ensue. This is right. I'm telling you, there are bad mothers out there. This is one of the things that we cannot deny. The presence of bad mothers. She don't want Kai to be around Amber. That's what John Miller said. We know is this. The biggest problem is this. This is the biggest problem that we're having. This is the biggest problem that's going on right here. So I believe that after the name change, Shayla would not gonna have to no talk. So you believe that after the name change, Anthony will step it up. Will Anthony step up his game, his claim, let's say claim, after the name change? Somebody say Anthony has to claim. One for yes and two for no. Will he step it up? In other words, based on Angela Atkinson's comment right here, so Will Anthony step it up? Because then he would have all of these different things. He might have more power. The next thing is that Shayla should do after her hot Tuesday tomorrow is to start searching for a babysitter for coverage. She's gonna have to get somebody that's reputable. Reputable. She needs to start the the babysitter search. I can't even get it out. Yes, the person will have this. Let me see a comment. I know you have the comment. She's getting 10 grand from Wayne. She can pay for a babysitter. She'll make $10,000 from Wayne. And tomorrow she's going, listen to me. She's going to try to capture Iman. Shayla is going to try to get with Iman. That's what's going on. One for yes, and two for no. May I tell her right now? Some of the pum pum tariffs will be officiated so she can see if she can make some money. She's here to make money. All the music business, she's not in any music to make any money at all. She's in the music business to get man to make money. Shayla is in the music business to get. Shayla is in the music business to get man to make money. That's what she's in the music business for. One for yes, and two for no. That's what she's in the music business for. I don't even believe she's in the music business for the right things. I think she's in there for the wrong reasons. Shayla is in the music business so she can put tariffs on the pum pum and get other guys to pay for it. But nonetheless, I think we're over time for a mini live. Guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and talk to y'all soon.